To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
What is it about Disney that makes us happy? Is it the magical whistle as your ticket is scanned at the main gate? Is it the seafaring smell of pirate water? Or is it charting a course to a land where you may never grow up? Whether it's singing a familiar song, watching a movie, or riding your favorite attraction for the 100th time, Disney undeniably has a way to warm our hearts, believe in magic, and bring joy into our lives. This is Main Gate Magic, a podcast where we break down and discuss the infectious happiness, delight, and thrill of all things Disney. Well, hello there, everybody, on a special Wednesday evening, a little bit outside of our normal broadcast date and time. Well, same time, different day. Thank you all for joining those who are actually in there and actually paid attention to the new night, because it's a little bit different than what we normally do. But no biggie. We accommodate our special guests as much as we can. But before we get to our special guest for this evening, let me introduce my wonderful co-host, Mr. Thomas. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing great, thank you.
I see that you are in the appropriate location for tonight's episode in the
Yes.
star of Galaxy's Edge.
I wanted to honor our guest with Galaxy's Edge location.
Yeah, I have to say I've never seen it that empty before, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's like the park is closed. And then, of course, as always, is our other co-host, Miss Leia. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing very good, thank you.
There you go. Leia's a little bit in transit right now, but she has still agreed to be on the show tonight. The show must go on. I mean, that is exactly what we are always saying anyway in the show business industry.
Yes.
And then, of course, last but not least, we are bringing to the stage Mr. David Gonzales. David, how are you doing tonight? Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Doing great. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I know that that you were not able to do Tuesday nights because you said that you do some kind of teaching. Did you want to go ahead and tell us what that teaching is about? I mean, is it something that is something you do with the taiko drumming and stuff like that, or?
It is. It's,
yeah.
The art of taiko I've been involved with, almost going on 30 years now. So it's been one of those
30 years.
I've been a passion of mine for a long time and continue to perform, teach, make, eat, breathe, sleep, taiko, and drum. Drumming it's got me grounded in many times in my life, and it's something that I love sharing with everyone. So
yeah,
I'm glad that you do, because I never would have thought in a million years I would have met the person who actually was the drummer of Max Rebo's band from Return of the Jedi. I mean, that's just like, it's such a weird thing, but like when I just go back and I remember, I'm like, oh my God, I've seen that scene so many times, seen so many different characters, because Jabba's palace is just full of just crazy aliens everywhere. And apparently you were no exception to the rule. And so what I want to do really quick for those people who have actually no idea what the heck we're talking about, I wanted to kind of share exactly who it is that I'm talking about from Return of the Jedi. It's kind of not a really big picture,
yeah.
But the name is Rev. Is that correct? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes.
So that's the guy, the big drummer from Max Rebo's band, and you guys can actually see him in Return of the Jedi inside Jabba's palace when Luke goes to. Actually, wait, Luke. Is that when Luke shows up, or is that just when the droids are playing?
It's pre-Skywalker walking in to the set.
Pre-Skywalker.
Even, it's, yeah.
So,
okay.
Now, you were in the original Return of the Jedi before they did the special edition, correct?
Oh, no, I was a fan.
No, you were not. Oh, okay, this was like the special edition then.
Special edition, correct.
Okay, when was that done? What year was that?
That was the 20th anniversary of the release of the original Star Wars, so 97.
1997, wow.
Yeah, because episode 1 came out in the year after that. So they started doing the prequels right after the special edition was released.
So that's when they actually added the CGI effects for the rest of the band as well, right? And did the new song and everything.
Yep. exactly.
That's awesome. Cool, man. That's great. So, do you play? This is going to be kind of a weird question, but do you play any other kind of percussion instruments, or is it just the taiko drum?
Prior to taiko, I did do other Western music. Um, was in bands when I was younger with my brothers. We'd play. My older brothers would always just bring home instruments, guitars, bass, drums, and we, learn a few pop songs and play when we could. But I didn't get really serious into music until I discovered the way of taiko, the art of taiko, and wanted to pursue that. Um, and yeah, that's kind of yeah, that's kind of it right there, honestly.
So, where are you from, and where did you grow up, and how did you get into music in general?
So I grew up in Southern California, Los Angeles area, um, but I moved up to the Bay Area. So it's going on 30 years now, practically. So when I could come up is when I first saw the art form and started then. But yeah, I've been up. So half my existence now is Southern California. So, yeah.
And why the taiko drum? I mean, what was the appeal to that? I mean, it's a Japanese instrument, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or is it kind of like a multicultural kind of a thing?
It's becoming multicultural, but its origins are from Japan.
Okay.
Their origins are from Japan, and I had met someone who was doing taiko, and she kind of she was kind of my way in, so to speak, where she was doing it, and I was kind of around a bit for that. I ended up marrying her. She ended up being my wife. So,
Oh, congrats! That's awesome. I like that.
yeah. She had been doing it since the '80s, and I was drawn to it and kind of followed her along with all the venues and whatnot. And yeah, it was something that it'll draw you, man. I mean, I don't know if any of you've ever seen a taiko performance, but it's pretty powerful stuff. And yeah, the instrument definitely called to me and said, "Come here, you." You know.
Well, it's funny that you actually ask if anybody's ever seen it before because I happen to have something to show everybody right now. So we're going to go ahead and load up a clip. Can you guys see my screen? Can everybody see my screen? I feel like I'm in a Zoom call.
Yes.
Alrighty, here. Let's see. Let's see if I can hide this. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so what you're seeing there is I'm playing what we call a hiradaiko, which is an upright style of playing the art form. Um, and I like bringing that to events to showcase that instrument and give people an opportunity also to try the instrument as well.
Mhm.
Well, and there's another picture of your character as well, and we'll get to him in a little bit because I mean it's not just the instrument that you're playing, but you are also in a costume, and I definitely want to talk about that because there's always questions of what did it take to get you into that mask, and how hot was it, and how much weight did you lose, how much time did you have to spend in it, and did it stink, things like that. But we'll get to that later. You said that there is lots of different ways to do it, and that was the stand-up version, and you were kind of doing sort of a slow drum there, which seems like it's more than just drumming. There's a style to it. There's like an art to it. Is that kind of what you end up learning as a taiko drummer, and is that what you teach today?
Yeah, for my training stems from the San Francisco Taiko Dojo, and Grandmaster Tanaka is considered to be the founder of taiko in America. He bought it in 1968, the art form, um, and the art form itself has um, been growing over the years, and it's kind of all global now. It's a global art form, but it has made its way through a lot of films and soundtracks over the past years, and particularly this group, San Francisco Taiko Dojo. Prior, about the year I joined, they had just done filming. I don't know if you're familiar with the film Rising Sun.
Yes. Sean Connery, Wesley Snipes.
Yes.
I've never seen that
Yeah.
one.
Love
So
that movie.
the dojo is featured in that film.
Okay.
Now, so the filmmakers in the Northern California area were familiar with the dojo, So I believe that's probably how they reached back out to us and said, hey, we need somebody to, because we worked with the Coppolas in the past, Lucas, Phil Kaufman, with The Rising Sun, and what have you. So yeah, it's
And Tia Carrera, I think, if I
yeah,
remember correctly, yeah.
yeah.
She had she in the movie though. She had like I want to say she was either burned or had some kind of like disfigurement or something like that. And she was like one of the ones that helped solve the crime. And for those who have never seen it, it's a great movie, crime solving movie. They do a lot of, for its day, they did a lot of video scrubbing to try to figure out like what happened during a murder scene or something like that. And
Oh,
pretty high tech for its time and everything. And I really enjoyed it. So it's funny the connection that you have with that. So before we go any further, though, I want to acknowledge a few people that we actually have watching the show today. We have our number one fan, Patricia, says, hi, everyone. And she got a little wave. Hi,
hi,
Patricia.
Patricia.
Yeah.
And then our other number one fan, Mr. Odie Braden, my father, says, hi, guys.
All right.
Hi, Odie.
No.
Oh, and he says, I can see it good. I'm glad it actually showed everywhere else, too. That's good to know. And I've actually got one other video I wanted to show, too, because I think it was the same show, if I remember correctly, and the proof will be in the pudding in a second here. Let me just load it up, because you also let other people kind of take the wheel and do a little drumming here and there when you're at shows, right?
Absolutely. I am a performer / instructor, and I also consider myself like a recruiter, if you will, to the art form. And I always tell
Cool.
wherever you're coming from, seek out your local taiko community group, because they're always welcoming for new members, and it's a great way, I think, for people to experience the art, music, and many of the facets that it brings to one. Obviously, stress release, it's grounding, it's community,
Yeah,
a lot of things. Yeah.
that's great.
I don't know if I heard this yet, but how old were you, David, when you started?
So I was, oh my gosh, I'm gonna show my true age now.
No worries.
I'm gonna say I was 27.
Oh, okay.
Started the art form, and I was
Yeah.
in it for a little bit. And my debut, I don't know if some of you guys are familiar with the venue Carnegie Hall.
Of course.
I
Yeah,
was,
I've heard of it.
because I was kind of in with the groups. My debut was Carnegie, and I didn't do a whole lot, but I'm playing that as my first show. So, which
Wow, that was your first show?
yeah,
Wow, that's impressive.
that was kind of. It was like, oh, where do I go from here? You know.
Yeah, like you've already hit the top. Like, where? Yeah, right.
No, but I mean, it was just the start of so many wonderful performances and people that you meet along your journey, man. It's tremendous.
Speaking of which, we met somebody along this particular journey at this show. The gentleman on the drums here that you guys see on your screen is Mr. Jim Cummings, the voice of Winnie the Pooh. And he decided to have a little go at the drums, too, in his own comedic fashion.
Yeah, he is a drummer, too.
He is. He's got he's in a band.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I love how he was doing like the row with the sticks, you know.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, he had a go at it. And if you guys are ever actually at a convention and you want to have a go at the drums, you know, David is the guy. He'll hand over the big old. Now, okay, actually, that leads me to another question that I have. So the sticks, I'm going to call them. Are they called sticks?
Yeah. But before we get to the sticks, you guys.
Oh.
So Cummings, I mean, he was the Weequay. Hondo,
yes, Hondo Anaka.
we were both. That was the first time I'd met him, so it was like Weequay to Weequay. You know, it was.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are. You guys are the same species.
Yes.
Okay,
Wait.
when you said Weequay, I was like, wait, what is that?
Yes. So the Weequay, I'm gonna display here. This
Nice.
That's awesome. That's the one you bring to the shows, right?
bring this guy to showcase. It's a replica. Don
Yeah.
Post. Obviously, we can't keep it. films, but yeah. So Hondo and myself had a little weekly meeting. So, but
I
yeah,
had no
Wow.
idea.
like the question, the sticks we call those bachi,
Bocce.
BACHI. Yeah,
Bachi.
and
Bachi.
there's various forms of the sticks depending on what your style you're playing and what
Mhm.
sounds you can make. Because you can get pretty good array of sounds off of one drum, but with the very sticks that you. Yeah.
But there are different types of sticks that are used for taiko, not just the one with the big fuzzy tips, right?
Oh yeah. Just a standard like a dowel, if you will. Um,
Okay.
some other form of mallets, some bamboo sticks to give it a kind of a slapping sound. So it gives you a nice variety of sounds that you can get.
And people will also use like their bare hands too, won't they? I think I've seen shows like that before.
Yeah, you can, but the taiko is designed to be heard, so it's made with a cow skin, so it's a tough skin on there. Not to say that they don't break, but they are definitely designed to take a good impact.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
We got somebody else in the show. I'm assuming this is the leader of the gang from Walt's apartment saying, "What's up, Jason? See you soon." And for those who don't know, or if you haven't seen the Facebook post yet, I am actually going to be on Walt's apartment podcast at 7:30 Pacific tonight. So as soon as we're done with this, I'll be hopping on over to the other side, and we'll be having some fun over there, and having some more Disney fun and questions, and just good old fun times. It's never a boring moment. What are the other styles that are done? Because you said that was like the standing one. Now, is there just sitting, or you hang or something, or like what's the different styles you do?
Well, so like for the film, obviously the big one was the one, right? That's the style that I like to present, because that was focused when they built it. When I came on set, they were like, they're familiar with the art, so they're like, you play that thing like you would your normal instrument, man. Don't hold back.
Yeah.
Right.
When we first started banging on those things, it was taking a beating, and so they had to fix some of the props and stuff to, but that's part of the testing, right? Make sure all your stuff is good to go. But yeah, there's various styles of the art form. The most traditional way to play a drum is obviously a flat surface. That dates back long time ago, right?
Yeah.
And so upright is a more modern way to play a drum, and there's also almost like a 45-degree angle that the drum sits on. That sometimes I'll bring. It's a smaller drum, but it's more of a different angle of attack, if you will, because there are a lot of forms, like whether it's sword training or defense modes, martial arts movement. I'm working right now and my wife, we're working with, I don't know if you're familiar with the Ernie Reyes World Action Team. They have done other films like Ninja Turtle films and things of that nature, but it's a martial arts group, and so they're incorporating this art form in their demonstrations as well. So
was Ernie the one? Was he in the original Ninja Turtle movie?
I believe Ernie Jr. was. Yeah, he was one of
the kid, right?
Kid, yes.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, because the name sounds familiar, and I didn't remember it as like a martial arts group, but more as like a name of a character or a performer from the movie itself.
Yeah. They're a very famous world action team that they like to do a lot of martial arts demonstrations, and they now have incorporated the taiko in their demos. So pretty exciting.
David, did you get to meet I'm assuming you got to meet like Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher on set? Or
when I shot the set, the only person that came back during our shooting from the original film was Femi Taylor. And here I don't know if I ever shared this picture.
I think she's the Twi'lek, right? The one that was the dancer.
I don't know if that's a good photo for you guys to see.
Getting a bit of a reflection.
Oh, yes, I see.
The green one in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She came back and did some other scenes with us. So she from the original.
I see.
Harrison Ford, fortunately, the Han Solo was still frozen in carbonite. So.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
So,
yeah, so you can.
I wasn't
He
sure
was
if
there
like
in spirit.
I wasn't sure if your character was still
I
on
got to
set.
chat it up with him
Mhm.
while he was frozen. So
Yeah, so I mean, if you guys actually look closely at the picture, you can actually see Han Solo and
Yeah,
Carbonite in the background there. So
yeah, I see that.
That's cool.
now I'm sorry,
So,
but that
David,
that
how
had to
did
have
you
been
book
pretty
the
cool.
job? Oh, yeah.
so
David, yeah.
yes. So
Oh, yeah.
again, the casting director had come to the dojo, but it was kind of secretive. You can't say anything. She's like, "Hey, working on a film with George Lucas." Showed us some renderings of some aliens playing these instruments, and said, "Yeah, we need some folks to come in and you know play our things that we built for this set, but we can't tell you much more than that."
Yeah.
We like,
Okay.
and so yeah, I said, yeah, let's get some drummers over there for you. And then she was, and I was relatively new to the art too. She was because I was helping in the office, and she's like, "Do you taiko as well?" I says, "Absolutely." She's like, "Why don't you come along to the interview to the audition process?" And so I don't really know how many of us went in the end, but it was myself and the other gentleman, the other drummer that you see. He was also a member of the dojo as well, Miles. So he was playing the one solo, like a mallet, if you will. And then fortunately got the other part. She called and said, "Hey, George, I want you to be the drummer for the scene." And I was like, man, super excited, super
Oh,
excited to be
yeah. It's a huge deal. It's awesome. You actually played in my favorite Star Wars film. Return of the Jedi is my favorite. Love it so much.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The original trilogies, man, they just, I
Oh,
mean,
magic.
gosh, what a difference that made in
Yeah.
film, make everything is just tremendous. And to be
So
Yeah.
such
how
an
much of a Star Wars fan were you before you actually got to be in the special edition?
yeah, because I was 11 when the first one came out, right?
Mhm.
And then 13 when the Empire Strikes Back. So I was 16 when Return of the Jedi was released, and I was a fan, man, from the start.
Awesome.
Cool.
Absolutely, just
How
love it.
much of a fan though? Like, where did you collect action figures and stuff like that? And did you have a favorite back then?
Wow, that's a good question. I mean, my character overall, I think, was the Han Solo character.
Okay.
For some
Cool.
reason, I loved Han Solo's.
Yeah.
Well, he's the scoundrel, you know. He's the guy that gets the girl.
The
He's
pirate.
rugged. Yeah.
Right. Rugged pirate. Yeah, who wouldn't want to be
Yeah.
Han Solo?
Yeah.
Especially with a giant walking carpet as a sidekick.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to have
Jason,
that-
by the way, you do an amazing Han Solo
oh,
impression. Not to put you on the spot.
Oh,
Leia
yeah?
is talking about our Smule days, which is how we met. So we do like scenes from the different Star Wars movies, and I'm sure that I've done a few with Han Solo's voice. I've done some with Luke Skywalker's voice, and
Yes.
that's about as close as I can get. And Vader, I think I've tried Vader before, but that is
Yeah. You
there is.
nail Han Solo. I have
Oh,
a friend
thank
who's
you.
watched the movies over 500 times, and I
Uh,
played it for him, and he's like, "Oh my God." I mean, he's like, the inflections, though. He's like, he sounds exactly like Harrison
Aw.
Ford.
I was going to say, is it Han Solo or is it Indiana Jones?
Yes, Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. We actually did an episode about Indiana Jones very recently too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my other favorite sets of movies.
So
But
good.
again, like you said, for Star Wars, the original trilogy. So basically, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and also The Last Crusade. Those were the good ones. Everything else beyond that, I could have done without.
Yeah.
They could have just stopped it right there. The Last Crusade, seriously, could have just been a Last Crusade and then just done.
Last.
I
Yeah.
grew up
Yeah.
with trilogy, but my boys grew up with the prequels, episode 2, 3.
Yep.
So that was their original trilogy,
Yeah, exactly. And I know that is just, I mean, and I'm not sure if you encounter the same things, but I sit with Andrew at the tables and we talk about with the fans, what is your favorite? And a lot of the younger generation will actually say the exact same thing. Oh, episode 1 is my favorite, or episode 3,
Oh, that makes sense.
where Darth Vader really, like is born per se. And so, yeah, it's a generational thing. And there are some people that actually do say that, The Force Awakens is their favorite, or The Last Skywalker, or something like that. But not as many people will actually say those were the best. I think they're magic in their own way. I think that they got some great qualities, but there's obviously a lot of differences of opinion about them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk about the mask, the man behind the mask. So when you had to go there, was it a simple just like just pull this over your head and start banging away, or did you have to spend time in a makeup chair and stuff like that?
Yeah, so they first got me dressed up in the outfits, and then after getting dressed, then I thought I was ready to go. And they're like, no, you got to put these gloves and this mask on. And I was like, oh, because I wasn't too familiar. I mean, obviously the skiff guards, right? Or the weak. I was like, whoa, I get to be the Weequay drummer, and that's what I was known on set as the little drummer guy, if you will, And no, but it was tremendous. I mean, the feeling of putting that on, and just, I mean, it was a little tough to get on. I needed some assistance because it gets tucked under a bunch of layers of things, and got to make sure I can see out of it and breathe out of it as much as possible, and then just try and go for it, because once I put it on, it wasn't very much time between that and actually starting to film.
Okay. So there wasn't a lot of, it was just it was just sort of like a pullover thing. Let's cinch you up and put the clothes on you and get going.
Yeah, like I don't know if this might have some glare too, but there's one of the, I think she's the one he's the one who fashioned the actual, getting me in the costume there.
Mm.
Yeah. That's a beautiful mask.
Yeah, it's amazing.
David, when you got in the
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Leah.
Oh, yeah. David, when you got in the outfit and you looked in the mirror, was it easy to get into character? You're not David anymore, but you're this alien creature, and to get into the part?
Yeah, it was a combination of things for sure, where I was like, when we were playing taiko, we try and get in a certain mindset, frame of, thought, and be one with the drum, if you will. Then of course, this isn't just taiko. This is I'm a Weequay doing taiko. So I kind of kept it a little light, because again, it was Weequays are supposed to be tough guys, right? Like pirates and that. So trying to keep it just a cool demeanor, if you will, because we did some filming of other sets while we were there, and some of that stuff didn't make the film, but I wasn't on the instrument. I was just a side character somewhere in the back stuff. But you just never know what's gonna end in the fight.
It's true.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm assuming it was very hot in there.
Pardon?
I'm assuming it was very hot in there. I mean, did you have to spend a lot of time during the drumming set? I mean, did they give you breaks where you got to take it off? And how many takes did it take? I mean, was it just a quick thing, or were they like, let's do that one more time, but give it more energy?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we did multiple takes. I believe it was a 1 or 2 camera shoot, maybe one even. I just remember it's a wide shot. You get everybody, let's do it again kind of thing. So between takes, there was, I had the little fan where they put in front of you. And I was calling it every time because I needed air. Because I was back in. It wasn't myself either. It was a couple of those other folks that were also in home masks that needed air as well. So every time between takes we would just put the fan in front of us. But when we had the longer breaks, then we could take off the mask and whatnot. But for the most part, try and keep it on as long as possible between takes. Yeah.
And where was the recording done? Was it in the States or was it done overseas?
No, it was definitely recorded here in the States. Marin County, ILM Studio. That's where they built the Jaba the Palace scene, and it was neat. It was wonderful walking through all the whole ILM facilities and whatnot. And
I bet.
That's cool.
Working on all kinds of cool stuff they just can't talk about, but you just you stay focused, and of course that there and Rick McCollum was there, the producer, and George was there obviously because he directed the scene, which was he's like, hi, I'm George Lucas, and I was like, Yes,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So you got to meet the Emperor himself, huh?
Yeah. And the
That's
creator.
Did you
beautiful.
see the
I love
Jabba
it.
the Hutt animatronic?
No, unfortunately, the
Oh, you
job.
did.
Okay.
But yeah, no, meeting George was tremendous. Just wonderful to work with. Just he got the cast because he didn't have to give too much direction, right, to folks. Just a few tweaks here and there of things that he would see, that he would, ask some of the performers, including myself, to tweak things here and there. But for the most part, he let us kind of choreograph our own kind of movements within the song, and that was my thing, was trying to create something that was going with the music. So we had the music playing, and we're go
Mhm.
act.
Oh, so there was like a soundtrack that was playing that you had to drum over, basically.
Yeah. So, but prior to that, I requested the music.
Interesting.
They gave me a cassette. I'm sure you guys remember what a cassette is.
I think I recall, yeah.
Yep.
We would get a cassette. We would just play that, and with our own drums in a little studio, and just played along with it, just to get a good sense of being on time and creating movements that we wanted to. But then when you get on set, it's a whole different thing, because again, when we auditioned, it was just air guitar. There's no
Right.
do whatever you do, right? And
Oh,
same thing. We just had one instrument, and we're like, okay, we're just gonna play. But then when we got on stage, they had the big drum, and then they had this other instrument considered, it was called a Heller harp. And so I would go. That's when you see me kind of going between the big drum and then the side instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you say you were like doing air guitar and stuff, were you actually hitting the drum, or were you just air hitting it, like not even touching it?
No, there was no. Oh, when I was on set, yes, I was
Yeah. Okay.
sure. But when we were at the audition, there was nothing.
Oh.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
oh my goodness. Interesting.
I've been to auditions
Yeah.
like that. It's really it's
It's
pretty nerve wracking.
onto that drum at I believe they have a storage, ILM Studios, wherever they have store all
Some
their
kind of big warehouse, it's like probably where the Lost Ark of the Covenant is still
Yeah.
resides. Yeah.
That was that. Somebody, I know where your drum is. I says, yes, that's my drum. But no.
So speaking of the drum, now you haul this thing around like everywhere you go, to every convention. Have you ever not taken it there before? Do you literally take it to every show?
No, not every show. No, I'll bring
Okay.
one just to bring something. And if the space is too small, I won't bring it, just because
Yeah.
too many technical difficulties to make it happen. So
Do you know how much it weighs, like the drum part of it itself? I'm not talking about like the frame and everything that you hang it from, but I mean, how much does it weigh, like the big drum itself?
the drum itself, I had it designed. It's Douglas fir, so it's
Wow.
not super heavy.
Oh, beautiful.
Got some good weight to it. I can certainly pick it up myself, with using my a certain way to lift it and not injure myself. But occasionally I will need help to get it up onto the stand. But I would say, it's not too heavy, man.
I guess that makes sense. It's mostly air, huh?
Yeah, well, it's got a full hide on both sides. It's a full not on one, on the other. So
What kind of hide?
it's a cowhide.
Okay.
Yeah, all our taikos are made with cowhide.
Okay.
We use other instruments with but some of them are the skin is too thin, so we could use those for hands or smaller sticks. But for the most part, when we use large sticks, it's all cowhide. Yeah.
Awesome.
I have a really random question.
Yeah, go for it.
Real quick. I'm listening, thinking of the drum sound. Do you know in The Lion King, that last drum hit, is that like a taiko drum? That booming, really epic sound?
It could very well be. I know when we heard, I don't know if you guys remember the movie Atlantis. It was a Disney film.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
In the trailer for that film, you will hear our group performing a song that we call Tsunami, and
No way.
film was in the film that we did for Rising Sun. So it's our signature piece, and so yeah, you'll hear it in the trailer for Atlantis, for sure. That one, but Taiko itself, you hear it in a lot of soundtracks, man.
Okay.
Most likely, it probably is.
Cool.
Now, do you do recordings for your taiko drumming as well? Is there any place that people can go and pick it up and be like, oh, hey, I know that guy. He plays the drums.
Most of the stuff that we do with the Taiko Dojo, there's like, this is CDs back in the CD world. You know, we do CDs, and before that there was cassettes and some VHS stuff. But now there's all kinds of stuff online that you can find the Taiko Dojo performances. I did some stuff for video games, like sound effects for Sony video games back in the 90s as well.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
And I also had done a live studio audience early 2000s for a sitcom called Life with Bonnie.
That sounds familiar.
Bonnie Hunt it was her, like,
yeah.
So she had like a makeshift kind of like a talk show on her sitcom and would invite guests. So I had showed up with my sensei and a few other drummers, and we played for a live studio audience. That was pretty neat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And that episode is titled Therapeutic.
Therapeutic.
Or it's streaming right now, or if it is, I don't know.
I mean, it's got to be out there somewhere, right? In all the different streaming platforms that are available nowadays, somebody's got to have it, even if it's on YouTube somewhere.
So many.
Yeah.
I mean, the internet is just like a big, huge video library nowadays. Do you still do live performances of your drumming?
Yes. I took a little hiatus, but now I've gotten back all into it, where I'm doing performing, teaching, even because there's a lot of groups in today. So, but a lot of them don't know how to actually make the drum. So I'm having to do repair work, reskinning drums for folks. And it's all inclusive with the taiko for me. It's everything, whether I'm making the instrument or performing or teaching. It's all related in there. Yeah.
By the way, I just finally looked at your T-shirt. I really do appreciate the artwork. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was noticing that too.
It's like the Star Wars version of Starry Night, I guess. Yeah.
One of my boys.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I've been getting compliments from this thing.
How many kids you got?
It's very good.
3 grown men already.
3 grown men.
Three grown
I think I met them at the last show that we were at, the one in Concord.
Yeah, the one that hit the drum there and scared the bejesus out of Andrew.
Oh my God, he was just banging on that thing like it was the end of the world.
That's how we train.
Oh my goodness.
Is it really?
That's how it's supposed to be done. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you own a lot of Star Wars? Do you own a lot of Star Wars shirts, or it's just kind of like here and there, or?
What was that?
Oh, do you own a lot of Star Wars shirts or Star Wars merchandise? Or is it just kind of like?
Over the years, my boys seem to bring me a lot of Star Wars related things. Or I'll meet folks, or I'll go to these events and there's something cool that's like catches my eye. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, I have a little few things.
Yeah.
Not a lot, I'll be honest, but a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no merchandise, no little action figures anymore or anything like that?
Well, like this little thing here. Yeah, that's a trading card.
Oh, awesome.
Wow.
But see, when this came out after the film,
Amazing.
so when we did the filming, I was just the Weequay drummer.
Uh-huh.
And I was an extra, so there was no credit given.
Oh, yeah.
Like, whoa, well, I did that film, but nobody knows me or whatever. But then when this came out, I was like, well, at least I got a name now. Rev, right? So I was super excited about it. And then some years later, the action figure was released through Legacy Collection. And then also the this one here, the Max Rebo one shot from for the
Oh
40th.
yeah, there you are.
And that was some
Oh,
pretty neat.
nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was super awesome. And then
Hey.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, hey David, you're an action figure. How does that feel?
Man, look at this one. Where is this one?
Oh, you're a Lego minifig too?
Yeah.
Shut
That's
up!
amazing. You're Lego. That's so fun.
That is so cool. You know, okay, so I have
They need
have
to make a.
Go ahead, Leia.
Oh no, you go. I was just gonna say, they should make a taiko little Lego drum.
Yeah.
You know, and then if anyone's interested, this book, this is The Way of Taiko,
Oh, excellent.
written by
Oh,
Gary.
beautiful.
Talks all about the art form, which I always try to have on hand because some folks are interested in it. So it's a nice little informative little book if anyone's interested in ever looking.
It's a pretty powerful thing to hear, especially when there's more than one of them, like, and there's a bunch of drums all at once. It makes it, you can feel it, like you can feel it in your stomach. It's that reverberating.
Absolutely. Very visceral. Absolutely.
Yeah, good word. I
Love
like that
that.
one. So I was going to say that the contrast between, because we were talking like, what our favorite Star Wars movies were, right? And you and I are kind of like OGs, and Leia likes Return of the Jedi as well. Thomas, which one did you say was your favorite?
I would say Return to the Jedi for sure. I also
Return.
like the spin-off shows like Mandalorian. So yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Love the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So I remember when Lucas said that, like they were going to basically redo Star Wars. They were going to redo episodes 4, 5, and 6, and they were going to add footage, and they were going to put in deleted scenes with extra special effects and everything. And there was a lot of people moaning and groaning and being like, "Oh my God, really? They shouldn't touch that." But we all still went to see it as fans anyway, right? And even after they were released, there was still a lot of moaning and groaning, like, why did they have to add this scene in there? And it was horrible and blah, blah, blah. But here I am talking to somebody who probably has a difference of opinion and would not be where he is today if there was not a special edition. So for stuff like that, it's got to be kind of a treat and something that you can really appreciate about how things just kind of change on a dime.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a little sizzle reel that I like showing when I'm at these events, and one of them is an interview of George, and where he's talking about the special editions and how he felt because of the technology that they didn't have back then when he made the originals, how he really wanted to finish the films as he wanted them to be.
Right.
That was the impetus for him wanting to do that, and so I always go to that and say, well, this was his vision. So
right.
Nothing that no one else wanted to add.
Yeah.
Who else could, other than George, right? So I know it's what he wanted, and like you said, if he hadn't done that, I probably would not have ever had the opportunity to be on that.
And for that reason alone, I'm glad that we're having the conversation we're having today.
For sure.
It's awesome. All right, folks. Well, we're getting close to the end of our show, but it wouldn't be a Main Gate Magic show without a little bit of trivia. So let's go ahead and get started on some of trivia.
You learn something new every day.
You absolutely learn. Oh, yeah, goofy. I keep forgetting I put that on repeat. Now, I kind of wrote these on the fly, and they are pretty much all geared towards the Return of the Jedi. So that way, for those who have the favorite, and of course David, who has probably seen it a lot of times, and Thomas, you're familiar with it as well.
Yes.
You guys can go ahead and answer. And if anybody in the comment section, those who are watching, want to play along, you certainly can. But there's only a few of you in there, and I know the responses are often pretty slow. So raise your hand quick enough, then we'll go ahead and let you answer. But otherwise, I'm going to give it to the people on screen here. So, question number 1. Who releases Han from the carbonite? So we were talking about Han frozen in carbonite earlier, right? He was in that picture right behind there. So who actually is the one who sets him free?
Yeah.
Hands, anybody? Thomas.
So it's okay to answer?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Leia, right? But she disguises
Absolutely.
herself at first. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yes, I do.
Dumb.
Yes.
Yes. Good answer. Good answer. All right, cool. So let's see. What else do we got here? How about this one? This one might be a little bit more tough. Does anybody know the name of Jaba's sidekick? And for those who don't know, I'm talking about the little ratty thing that is always laughing his head off at everybody.
It reminds me of my dog.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, no. Sorry. Before we get any answers, you're going to have to explain that.
Okay. Oh, well, just my dog is like a crossbreed between Stitch and the sidekick.
What?
She's just she's a big character. She looks like
You
Stitch.
don't have a
but
picture, do you?
I don't, but if she was a cartoon, she'd laugh like that sidekick.
Oh my gosh. You know, speaking of Stitch, we need to do a Lilo. We need to do a Lilo and Stitch episode with the live action coming out soon. Show of hands, how many are excited for the live action Lilo and Stitch?
I am, yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
Super excited.
he looked
All right,
perfect. They did a beautiful
I
job.
know. Better than Sonic the Hedgehog did the first time they showed that horrendous trailer. Okay, so
yeah.
Show of hands. Who knows the answer? Name of Jaba's sidekick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you raising your hand, David? You're giving a thumbs up. Wait, how did that little bubble appear?
Oh, I think if you do this, it'll automatically do it.
Wait.
Oh, well, David's magical.
Dude!
It's
I
maybe
think a feature for Apple or something.
maybe it's his phone. Maybe it's his phone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a feature of the phone and everything. So nobody knows, huh? Let's see. Oh wait, I got to go to the comments. We're all stumped here. So let's see. Wait. First of all,
wait, David has it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, David, you do have it?
For sure. So
okay. What? Say it again.
Salacious Crumb.
Salacious Crumb. That's absolutely right.
It sounds like a Harry Potter character almost.
Kind of, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's Sean who's in the chat with Walt's apartment. He says, "Love that shirt, Jason." Yeah, he's probably saying that because he has one just like it. We shop at the same store. Let's see. Van is in today, and he actually says I was slightly off, but he actually said, I gotta try to read this. Sarcraculus Crumb. Now that sounds like a Harry Potter character.
Yeah, it does.
That's either Sarcraculus Crumb. That either sounds like a Harry Potter character or a Harry Potter spell.
Yeah.
Sarcraculus Crumb turns you into a crumbling cookie or something like that.
Like on SNL or something.
Yeah, exactly. And Van actually says David Gonzales is the man. I think you may have met Van before, David.
Oh yeah, I did an interview with Kyber Cave. I believe that was over a year ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? That makes sense, duh. And for that reason, and also he was actually at the show that you and I were together at Last and Conquered. That's how I met him. So I'm actually going to be on his show at the end of the month. So stay tuned, everybody. All right. Okie dokie. What else do we? So we got the Salacious Crumb answer correct. Let's see. What's the next one? What is the name of the giant beast that Jaba feeds his guests to? David.
I know.
Oh, wait. Well, let's give Leia a chance. Yeah, go ahead.
The Rancor.
The Rancor. Absolutely.
Did I not get it right?
Good job. You did, but I think there's a little bit of a delay with your audio.
Oh, is there? Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's okay. We're close to the end. We're good. Yeah, the Rancor is definitely it, and that thing is ugly. And I think did it have a nose ring or an ear ring or something like that? David's laughing his head off.
I think it had an earring.
It was an earring, right?
It was something like
Yeah, I think it had an earring.
I think Luke should have used the Force to rip off the earring. That would have made it mad.
As a kid, I would always get traumatized when someone died. So when the Rancor ate what is her name?
Twi'lek.
I was like, oh, did she go to heaven? My mom's like, oh, it's okay. She went to heaven. Don't worry. Because I would get traumatized. But
all Star Wars.
Yeah, that part was traumatizing to me too.
I was traumatized.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they actually showed it eating a Gamorrean guard. He just like took him and just started eating him like an apple, like
Yeah.
and then you saw his feet and he's like following him and everything. I think that was all stop motion puppetry too, so that was really good. Yeah. All right.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yep. So speaking of things dying, and since we're on the subject of the Rancor, how is the Rancor killed?
Ooh.
Come on, David.
By Skywalker.
Yes, but how?
Yeah.
He threw a rock at the gate controls, and the gate came and crushed the Rancor.
Absolutely right. Good job. Yes.
And then his owner is devastated and cries.
I know. He's
the big bellied man runs in. He's like weak. Yeah, it's like his pet.
Right. He was mad too. He's like pushing people aside, saying, "Let me see." Reminded me of an episode of like Grey's Anatomy where they're like, "No, let me see him. I have to see him." All right. Last question that I got, at least for now, unless anybody wants to, do some off the top of their head. Who tosses, and I use toss in quotations for a reason, who tosses Luke's lightsaber to him on the skiff? David knows, I know, but Thomas is I can see Thomas digging into the recesses of his brain. I want you to see if you can get the answer on this one.
No, I think I am digging, but it's not there yet. Yeah.
Not there yet. Okay, Leia, any guesses?
Man, I don't know why. I'm kind of picturing that it's oh, I can think of his name.
Shame on you.
No, I'm not going to get it.
Okay. David, go ahead.
I'll tell you if David says it. That's who I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. So who is it, David?
Wait, I got the right question. Oh, that's R2.
Yes.
R2, okay.
R2D2, yeah.
Nope, that's not what I was thinking.
That's not what you were thinking? Yeah, because
so I'm getting an answer. Yay. Good.
Yeah, C-3PO was giving like the speech and those who are about to die, basically, right? And Luke kind of gives like a little salute that was the signal to R2, and then you see R2's little panel go zip, and the lightsaber kind of goes up a little bit, and he does his little dive off the plank and does his little flippy in the air, and then catches the lightsaber as R2 shoots it to him. So yeah.
So
good times, yes. Love the old-fashioned ones like that. Okay, every time that I talk about this kind of stuff, whatever movie it was, like when we talked about Indiana Jones, I want to go back and watch Indiana Jones. Now I want to go watch Star Wars again.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So good.
Any other trivia questions somebody want to throw out there before we got about maybe like 5 more minutes?
Ooh,
Nothing. And the crowd goes silent.
Well, I was thinking.
Oh, okay. So when Luke tells his dad at the very end, and his dad is dying, Darth Vader, and he says, "No, I have to save you." What does his father tell him, Darth Vader? Jason!
You already have, Luke. You already have.
Perfect, 1,000%. That was amazing.
Now that's the Darth Vader that I can do, because it's like, raspy and it's like old and decrepit and stuff like that. Yeah, but the Vader voice.
That part always made me tear up, like cry.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, but what does he say after that? Do you remember that? Anybody? He doesn't have a lot of dialogue.
What does Darth Vader say?
Yeah. Well, technically, what does Anakin say? Because at that point, no longer Vader.
He says, "Tell your sister you were right about me."
Right. Exactly.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that.
Tell your sister you were right. Tell her you were right about me. Yep. That he was good and that there was good still in him.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it soon again.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful.
All right, David. Well, we're gonna start wrapping things up here, and I know you showed us the copy of the book for the taiko stuff. Is there a place that people can actually go and buy that? Is it like an Amazon purchase?
Yeah, you can find it on Amazon.
And show us the title of it again.
It's called The Way of Taiko.
The Way of Taiko. Is there an author?
Yeah, Heidi Varian.
Heidi
Beautiful
Varian. The Way of
cover.
Taiko by Heidi Varian. Yeah, I love it. It's very nice. Looks like a coffee table style book.
Yeah, lots of cool photos. It talks about the interpretation, the history of the art form itself. Like I said, my sensei who brought it here in '68, his sensei actually developed the art form in 1952, Kumidaiko, and that was
Oh.
Hachio Gucci, who has now since passed on. But yeah, so Oguchi, the lineage is from Osuwa Daiko to San Francisco Taiko Dojo in terms of the art form itself.
I need to learn Japanese. It's such a great language.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's amazing.
Mhm.
And then if anybody wants to actually find you where they want to learn more about taiko or your role with Star Wars, do you want to plug anything on Instagram or any upcoming appearances and what your next show is?
A couple of things. I'm involved with a group called Taiko Ventures now, and they
Ventures.
help artists who are doing taiko and sharing taiko, and so they're a big part of me being able to go back and do this. So I'm appreciative of Taiko Ventures. And in terms of the events, I'm going to be doing a few in May. Over in Fairfield on May 3rd and May 4th, I'll be in Modesto. And then May 10th, I'll be doing Omega Con in Madera.
Nice.
Yeah.
Modesto seems to be a very popular place to do Star Wars stuff, and I'm wondering if it's because that's where Lucas is from.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
that makes
okay,
sense.
I thought about one other question that we're going to kind of leave off with here is for the classes that you teach, what's the youngest one that you actually have? Like, what's your youngest student?
Like historically, I've
his age, like the age. What's the youngest one you ever taught?
pre-K.
What?
And I tell you,
Wow.
they can only do so much. They're precious, though. They're young and they're just
like, is this the size of the drum? And they're like,
pretty much. You know?
Really? Do you have like?
That is precious.
Oh yeah, they're so
That
young.
is so cute.
And then
okay.
every grade you can think of, all the way on to, I do senior classes as well, and just people just love to do that. So there's various levels to the art form, mastering of certain things and abilities for people. So you always make sure that people can fit somewhere within the art form.
What a beautiful art, David.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And thanks for sharing with us today. I appreciate you taking your time away from your daily schedule and everything to come and tell us all about the art of taiko, your role as
Thank you.
Rev on Return of the Jedi, and I mean, you're family at this point, man. We've been to so many conventions together now. I feel like we're like convention family now. So many thanks for being here and sharing your life with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, you guys. It was an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Leia and Thomas, thanks again for being on tonight. Appreciate you guys as always. Patricia says, great show. Have a great night. You too, Patricia. And thanks, Leia. Heard that as well.
Oh, thanks, Patricia. You too.
Yeah. And for anybody who wants to see previous episodes, we are available to watch on Facebook, but the best place to go to is Main Gate Magic on YouTube. All our prior episodes are on the live section of our channel. I have some very exciting news to announce for I believe it's I got to look at my calendar now. On Tuesday, the 29th, we have Adasa, who is going to be on our show, who played Dolores from Encanto. She is We Don't Talk About Bruno. So, very lovely lady, wonderful person. I don't know how many other guests I'm going to have between now and then. I want to see if I can get at least one more Star Wars guest on because we got May the 4th coming up pretty soon. So hoping to, kind of close out the month with a little bit more Star Wars, but we'll have to see. So check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. And of course, if you guys want to listen to any of the audio shows, we are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and podcast networks. I am Jason Braden. Thank you so much for watching and listening tonight. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care and good evening. Bye-bye.